omelet over the egg theory. I don't make the omelet. The omelet gets delivered. I talk about the omelet. I'm not here to make your team popular. You get popular and I'll talk about you. Women's basketball is not something I've talked about a lot in my career. It got really popular. The ratings in March for this Iowa team have been sensational. The ratings yesterday, I haven't seen them. They'll be gigantic. So, but there's a lot of things I want to throw out here. Women's basketball ratings have been on a several year growth spurt. As the NBA has been declining, college basketball regular season has been declining, women's basketball ratings have been increasing. The Final Four viewership this year is up 66%. Now, a lot of that is Caitlin Clark. She's a kind of a female Steph Curry. She's the catalyst for these ratings. But I would say this, and I've said this before, in the last 25 years, no sport has improved more than women's basketball. Why? The same reason the United States women's national soccer team dominated their sport and has for decades. Because America encouraged women to play soccer, and many other countries did not. We got a 30-year head start on much of the globe. Now, it's much more competitive. But 25, 30 years ago, even though it was the wrong side to be on, people weren't telling women to be athletes as often as they should have been. Now it's really cool. It's always been cool. I've always liked women who are jocks. But now everybody gets how beneficial it is to them, a community, and sports in general. So the quality of women's basketball over the last 25 years, go look at a women's basketball game 25 years ago on YouTube. It doesn't look like today. The women are faster and twitchier. They're more athletic. They shoot better. They've got great moves. I mean, it's a really good watch. Now, obviously, Caitlin Clark has been the catalyst for this explosion of ratings over the last couple of weeks and months. But once you turn it on, America's not going to be fooled. They like drama, they like stars, and this gave you a lot of it. But I've felt this, and I've said it multiple times, is that no sport, college men's basketball, conversely, is worse. Why? Because the talent now leaves after a year. 25, 30 years ago in men's college basketball, this is hard to imagine, guys like Patrick Ewing would come back for their junior year. The good teams had 3 or 4 pros, and not borderline pros. The big dog programs had 3 or 4 great pro players. Go look at teams that didn't win in men's basketball 25, 30 years ago. St. John's had Mark Jackson, Bill Wennington, Chris Mullen, Willie Glass, like really good players. I think Walter Berry was on one of those teams. They didn't win. Houston had Akeem and Clyde Drexler, Larry Michoud, I think Rob Young, if I'm right. They didn't win. The NBA guys everywhere. Now college basketball, if you get a really good NBA player, he is out, man. It's the classic apartment complex. Everybody's there as little time as possible and move to the better location, right? And so women's college basketball has grown in quality over the last 25 years like no sport in my life. Not all sports are the same. Boxing, not as many talented young people go into boxing. Not as many great men's college basketball players stay in college basketball for years. But part of the resurgence and this growth of women's basketball, it's just more fun to watch. It's just more athletic. It's twitchier. The quality and the speed of yesterday's game, it doesn't even look like 30 years ago. People encourage women, get into this sports thing. It's awesome. And now that everybody is, the beneficiary, these ratings are not just yesterday. This has been happening for 5 or 6 years where you are slowly seeing this thing grow. I think yesterday it's finally getting everybody's attention, and you had the perfect catalyst, kind of a Steph Curry sort of player in Caitlin Clark. But I'm watching that game yesterday. It is feisty, and it's trash talking, and it's complaining about officials, and it's obnoxious coaching, and it's long three-point jumpers. It's quality television and quality athletes.